Jesse Tree, Day 11. Today's readings are from the book of Joshua, chapter 1, verses 5 through 7, and chapter 6, verses 1 through 20. Today's reading is about Joshua, and it's about being strong and courageous. Joshua chapter 1, verses 5 through 7. Just as I was with Moses, I will be with you. No one will be able to stop you all your life. I will not abandon you. I will never leave you. Joshua, you must be strong and brave. You must lead these people so that they can take their land. I promised their fathers that I would give them this land. But you must be strong and brave about obeying the commands my servant Moses gave you. If you follow his teachings exactly, you will be successful in everything you do. The battle against Jericho. So Joshua, son of Nun, called the priests together and said to them, "Carry the holy box of the Lord. Tell 7 priests to carry the trumpets and march in front of it." Then Joshua ordered the people, "Now go, march around the city. The soldiers with weapons will march in front of the holy box of the Lord." After Joshua finished speaking to the people, the 7 priests with the trumpets began marching before the Lord, blowing the trumpets as they marched. The priest, carrying the Lord's holy box, followed them. The soldiers with weapons marched in front of the priests who were blowing the horns, and the rest of the men walked behind the holy box, marching and blowing their trumpets. Joshua had told the people not to give a war cry. He said, "Don't shout. Don't say a word until the day I tell you. Then you will shout." So Joshua made the priests carry the holy box of the Lord around the city 1 time. Then they went back to the camp and spent the night there. Early the next morning, Joshua got up and the priests carried the Lord's holy box again. The 7 priests with the trumpets marched in front of the Lord's holy box, blowing their trumpets. The soldiers with weapons marched in front of them. The rest of the people marched behind the Lord's holy box. During the whole time they marched, the priests were blowing their trumpets. On the second day, they all marched around the city 1 time, and then they went back to camp. They continued to do this every day for 6 days. On the 7th day, they got up at dawn and marched around the city 7 times. They marched in the same way they had marched on the days before, but on that day, they marched around the city 7 times. The 7th time they marched around the city, the priests blew their trumpets. Then Joshua gave the command, "Now shout, the Lord is giving you this city. The city and everything is to be destroyed as an offering to the Lord. Only Rahab, the prostitute, and everyone in her house will be left alive. These people must not be killed because she helped the 2 spies. Remember, we must destroy everything else. Don't take anything. If you take anything and bring it into our camp, you yourselves will be destroyed and you will cause trouble for the rest of our people. All the things made from silver, gold, bronze, and iron belong to the Lord. They must be put in the Lord's treasury." So then the priests blew the trumpets. When the people heard the trumpets, they began shouting. The walls fell down and the people ran up into the city. So the Israelites defeated that city. Joshua fought the battle of Jericho and won. He followed God's directions, and he was courageous in believing God's promise to lead him to the promised land. Joshua reminds us that God sent Jesus to be our good shepherd and lead us from earth to our heavenly home with God. If you could go anywhere you wanted for a special trip, where would you go? How would you get there? How much do you think it would cost? Your challenge for today is to load your family up into your car and play a game. Take turns deciding which way you want to go, left, right, or straight ahead. Decide in advance how many times each person gets to choose, and then go on an adventure to see where you end up.